from the Irish Academy of Public Relations. You are both very welcome to the programme. Now, we've had a statement that's just come in at 6:30 this morning from Irish Water. I know there's been a number of statements from them over the last couple of days, and some criticism of Irish Water and how they have communicated or failed to communicate with those affected. But what they do say here, this is from the Managing Director, Jerry Grant. He says that they will commit to prioritising the replacement of 2.2 kilometres of the water main serving the Stilleen water treatment plant. They say there's going to be a detailed programme for complete replacement. It's going to take a number of weeks to finalise, but a preliminary view suggests a time frame of 18 months. So are the people of this area looking at possible outages and certainly disruption for an 18-month period while this 2.2 kilometres of waters is replaced?
It certainly sounds like it, and it sounds like Irish Water had no plan in place to deal with something like this, which actually means for everybody else around the country that if it happens anywhere near you, they won't have a plan in place to deal with it either. The communication on this has been absolutely awful. You've got residents who were told it'll be 2 days, it'll be another day, it'll take another while. It's inch by inch, every couple of days. Irish Water seem to be finding out as they go along how long it's going to take to fix these pipes. There doesn't seem to have been any plan in place that said, in the event that something happens, despite the fact that apparently they had warned government and said they do need a substantial investment, we do need to replace all of these pipes, nothing is really happening with them. And either from the residents' point of view, ordinary people who just can't go about their ordinary lives, or from a business point of view. I was looking at a piece of footage the other night, and there were people trying to run hairdressers where they need an awful lot of water. There were people who were running cafes and restaurants. There were people who were looking after small children saying, we must have access to clean water. It's putting a huge pressure on the people in that area.
And yet, Shane, Irish Water was meant to have carried out a review of all of the pipes and all of the piping structures around the country when it was first set up, so that we did have a clear understanding of what needed to be replaced and what was the priority. Surely that has been done.
Yeah, and the fact that we have to wait for this specialist part, which only today is being delivered from Belfast, I mean, if they warned the government last year, this particular asbestos pipe, there's been 3 issues with it in the past, including June of last year, so surely you would have at least got the order in so that we were ready for this, given that we knew the extent. I mean, some people say 200,000 people affected by this. We were all kind of sitting around waiting for this specialist part. Now, I know nothing about water parts or anything like that, but there's some specialist part being made in Belfast that's finally arriving today. But Ellen will know about this through communication. What you do is you under-promise and over-deliver. So I heard on Sunday that we're going to see how we get on by midnight Sunday. We may have a solution to this. Then the next thing, no, that wasn't successful. That has failed. We're now looking at Thursday. Now people are being told the weekend here. So it's this drip feed, sorry about the pun, it's this drip feed of information here where people are being told it might be today, it might be tomorrow.
And again,
they shouldn't have said Sunday midnight, because I'm sure people thought, okay, well, we've had a rough weekend, very hot weather with no water. We might be into it now for a new week. We'll have our water back.
And of course, no guarantees.
No guarantees.
I suppose there's no
absolutely none
reason for us to believe that this new part that's going to be installed is actually going to work, or that other parts of this pipe, which clearly need to be replaced, aren't going to seize up and give way as well. So it's a very unsatisfactory.
They're not creating confidence. I think even if the issue is a very serious one, if they had come out initially and said, this is the problem, this is how long it will take, we need to order a part, even if they hadn't done the homework in advance, if they could say this is a rough timescale, and Shane's point is very good, instead of saying it'll all be fine within a few hours, to say really it's going to be a week or a week and a half, I think people are more understanding. If you're told it's going to be a week and a half, you'll plan for a week and a half. If you're told it's going to be tomorrow, you expect it to be all over very soon.
It mightn't be a week and a half, and then everyone goes, well, that's how you do communication. You say, fantastic. But I want to be careful here, and Lord knows I'm one of the worst critics of Irish Water, but it's not all their fault. Irish Water only took over in 2014, I think. Yes. This is Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, years and years of lack of investment.
If we look between 2000 and 2010, there was, I think, 80 kilometres of water pipes replaced in this country over a 10-year period. So it has been
too small,
chronically underfunded.
and it will take years and years and years to replace all of the pipes that need to be replaced. This is a job that should have begun 20 years ago.
So are we looking at a situation where we need 13.5 billion to fund Irish Water? It looks unlikely that they're going to be able to borrow that.
Yeah.
How is that going to be paid for? We're back to who's going to pay for water, and more than ever, I think we've become aware why it is so important that water is invested.
Yeah, where does the money come from? And there's a lot of people saying, oh, get rid of Irish Water, give it back to the councils. The fact is, some councils made an absolute mess of managing the water, and it's had years of lack of investment. I think a lot of people would agree a single utility for water is a good idea. People will have different views on water charges, but some councils were not good at looking after water provision, and as we've seen now, this is the fruit of it. And unfortunately, there could be other areas like this.
We'd have to believe there is going to be.
These pipes are near the end of their lifetime.
Moving on to one of the other stories that's making the news today, and I was speaking to you just before we came on air, and we said, what is going to be the moment where we say, oh, that's it from Trump now? That is the straw that broke the camel's back. We've had kind of months where this issue with Jeff Sessions as Attorney General has been simmering, but Ellen, over the last couple of days, given the interview he gave in Time magazine, given his comments on Twitter as usual, where his criticism of him seems to be deeply personal and seems to have intensified. Why is that? What has changed?
Donald Trump's criticisms are always personal. Always. Donald Trump's style, I think, the president's style, is that he appoints somebody to a job and he expects that what he's done is he has appointed his bulldog, with the greatest respect to bulldogs, right? This is my man, my woman in the job. I want them to defend me and do what I want done. That's effectively what he wants done. He put Jeff Sessions into the job. People said, very good choice. Everybody was happy with it. Good Attorney General. But what Donald Trump thought he was doing was putting his man, his puppet, into the job. Jeff Sessions said, look, what actually happened was I didn't mention the fact that I had met with the Russian ambassador twice when I actually had my hearings. So if we're looking at investigating Donald Trump and his family's connections with Russia before the election, then I need to recuse myself. The president almost had a meltdown and said, you cannot possibly, I don't know why he's recusing himself. He shouldn't have done. In fact, if he had told me he would, I wouldn't have appointed him.
So does Trump now feel this is some sort of personal betrayal of Trump himself?
I don't think he feels it so much as a personal betrayal as he thinks he put the wrong man in the job. Sessions didn't understand that his job was to go in there and mind the president's back. That's the way he sees it. Jeff Sessions sees it as, I am honourably stepping back because there is a connection.
I will respect the constitutional checks that are there, that if I am in some way involved in an investigation, then I cannot be part of the investigation.
Yeah.
But President Trump does not
President
respect that.
Trump's style is that doesn't matter.
So are we looking at a situation here, Shane, where not only would he have dismissed his FBI director, but he's going to dismiss his Attorney General as well?
Well, I don't know if he's going to dismiss him. He was asked, will Sessions remain in the job? And he said, we will see what happens, time will tell. I think maybe the pressure on Sessions may become slightly too much.
But Sessions has great support within the Republican Party. He is possibly more popular within the Republican Party than Trump himself.
Yeah, but Trump is the president here, so unless we're going to have the Republicans going above the president and supporting the Attorney General, well then that leads to a whole world of problems there. So, American politics is strange anyway. People say they're loyal, they're not loyal. They're all going to worry about their own seat and their own office at the end of the day.
Ellen, is that when this is going to change? When we have the midterms coming up next year, when Republicans are looking at the possibility of losing their seat, is that when things are going to shift and people within the Republican Party are going to say, okay, we've gone too far here, this is so damaging to us, our seats, to the party, that we're going to have to find a way of getting rid of this guy?
Can I give you the other take on President Trump? I met with two American colleagues yesterday, and they said that most of Donald Trump's heartland isn't aware of this at all as an issue. Media find it a huge issue. We're all consumed by everything he does and everything he tweets. The people who elected him aren't all that bothered by it. So this is what
they want. They enjoy the waspish, bulldogish nature of Trump.
They're not even aware of it. And so he's tweeting, and so he's giving people a kick in the ass. That's what he does. It's not an issue for them. We read it in an entirely different way. And I think within his own party, they're still trying to figure out what are the implications. It's very hard to tell. The people who elected Trump think he's doing a great job. So the midterms may change everything. They may not. It may reinforce the fact that people love him, even if an awful lot of people don't get what he's doing. It's a fascinating game.
I saw a woman say, I don't have to like him, I just want him to know that he's fighting for us. And they think that he is fighting, and he's fighting fake news, and he's fighting people like presenters like here on Irish
I have a funny